Seattle's a beautiful place, but it is noted for rain. This year, however, the rain seems to have come to the other coast. Hopefully, those drip drops will stop when we'll get this ball game in tonight. Evaldo Jimenez hopes so. He takes to the mound. He'll be looking for his third win of the season. First meeting against Seattle. A couple of teams leading their divisions next. It's the Orioles on Massett, and we welcome you to the ballpark where it is not raining. And the Seattle Mariners are set to go against the Orioles in Game 1 of this three-game set. Hi, everybody. Two ball clubs who are playing some very good baseball and are very much alike. The Orioles come in still with a winningest record at home. They have won 16 games here at Camden Yards this year. Both of these teams are hitting the long ball at a real high rate. Their pitching staffs rank 2 and 3 in ERA overall in the American League, and both just percentage points ahead of the teams that are chasing them. Should be a good three-game matchup. Left-hander against the Orioles. Here's what they did against lefty starters last year. The numbers: 22 and 23. Their batting average not good at .239 overall against lefties last year. They were led by Davis, Jones, and Manny Machado in individual averages. Now take a look at the numbers this season so far. They are significantly better. The Orioles are 5 and 4 against starters. The average, though, has jumped up to .259 from .239. And Manny Machado, Joey Rickard, and Nolan Reimold all are over .300 against left-handers. So Mike Bordick, one of the things the Orioles wanted to do, improve the record against left-handers. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's looking really good, and I think the reason is a couple different factors. Scott Coolbaugh has really sold the approach of staying hard to the middle. You're seeing guys like Manny Machado, Nolan Reimold. They're using the whole field right now against the left-handed pitchers, and that's important because lefties try to cut that ball hard in on the righties under their hands, and they'll go soft away. If you're too pull-happy against the left-hander, they're going to expose you, and it's been a problem for this power-hitting team in the past. But this year, it seems like there's a nice consensus. Everybody's staying hard to the middle. Even Davis, the numbers aren't quite there yet against the lefties, but he's consistent with the strength hard to the middle, power all over the place.
Now tonight, what the Orioles and Seattle, for that matter, will look at two starting pitchers who have had a roller coaster beginning to the season. Neither team quite sure what their start is going to look like.
Right. Miley really got off to a slow start. He's pitched much better in his last 4 outings, though. And Ubaldo, it seems like every other game is when you're going to see a good one. So his last outing, not very good. Hopes are that tonight he's going to be more consistent, just in the strike zone, I think, with his fastball. That's going to be a key. If he can get that good two-seam action on his fastball and have good command with that, it'll make his secondary pitches play up, and you'll see the swing and misses on that split finger.
All right, we'll see if we get that tonight. The Orioles have started out this homestand going 3-1. 3 more now against the Mariners. First pitch, Game 1 coming up. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by the Bob Bell Automotive Group. Driven to be the best. 55 degrees, overcast skies, drizzle all day here in Baltimore, but not right now. Stopped about an hour ago, and hopefully will stay that way. Take a look at the lineup for the Seattle Mariners. 21 and 16 coming in. Aoki, Smith, and Cano. Nelson Cruz, the former Oriole. Seager, Lynn, Dianetta, Marte, and Martin. Nelson Cruz, you see the numbers put up 2014 with the O's.
And let's take a look at Ubaldo Jimenez's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 58% of the time. The breaking ball 20%. Now he's been flipping up that curve and slider with some inconsistencies this year. Looking to get back on track in this ball game. The change, of course, the real good split finger. His swing and miss pitch, which has led to the 37 strikeouts in his 40 2/3 innings of work. Opponents hitting way too well. 307 overall batting average against Ubaldo. He has given up the 5 long balls this year.
It'll be interesting with this ball club, Seattle, hitting as many home runs as they do. The Orioles come in having put up 55. Seattle's right behind 50 in the top 4 in home runs in that department. Nelson Cruz is a part of the power offense, the former Oriole, who will be in the lineup as the DH. And we are ready to go. Aoki will stand in. Aoki getting the start in left field. That left-handed number Mike noted at 371. There's one right-hander in this lineup. So all the lefties have been loaded in for this start. So we'll see how he can Jimenez can deal with this in light of the very high average. That average at 371 is the 3rd highest average by left-handed pitchers against left-handed hitters against any pitcher coming into this ball game.
Yeah, and Ubaldo's had some problems because of that lack of fastball command. When he's on, he's running that two-seamer, starting it basically right at the lefty and locking him up. But he's been missing that inside corner with the fastball.
Aoki, who will bunt, will draw Janish in. Now, Janish is playing third base in this game. First time he's been at third since 2013. He has played third base in the past, but obviously not recently. That will be in there for a strike, and the count will go to 3-1.
Now, well, Janish, of course, known as a shortstop, but in his situation, he's been considered a utility player, though. So even in spring training, Buck Showalter's moving him around on the infield.
He will back up now with the count going to 3 balls and 2 strikes against Seattle. Jimenez 2-1 with a 4.02 earned run average. Aoki takes, and he is gone. Just backed away from a pitch that looked like it was pretty much a whole strike. Not happy with it, but he's out of there.
Well, Aoki not liking the call, but Ubaldo Jimenez going with the two-seam fastball and works it inside, catches that inner third. Aoki standing there perplexed. Ubaldo getting the call. Nice start here for Ubaldo.
Ubaldo has given up a couple of first inning runs. Opposing teams are hitting well over 300 against him in the first inning. So as we've mentioned so often, so many of the starters have had their problems in the first. To get through that can really settle Jimenez down. Here is Seth Smith with a 247, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Talking to the Seattle folks, coaches, broadcasters. They said, you know something, you think this is our Joey Rickard, or Joey Rickard is your Seth Smith. Same kind of guy. Apparently takes a lot of pitches, fouls off a lot of balls, has really good plate appearances in the number 2 spot for Seattle. And the pitch inside. You saw Scott Service, the manager, as they cleaned house. Jerry Dipoto came in as the new GM after last season. Scott took over. He's got a very young staff. Mike and I were both looking. I didn't realize how young his coaching staff is. Mel Stottlemyre's the pitching coach. Timmy Bogar's the bench coach. They got Manny Act at third. Mike Hampton is the bullpen coach. So a lot of names familiar to recent baseball fans.
Yeah, right. Hampton, Edgar Martinez, of course, the hitting coach. That was Acta.
So they've got a few names going on there to help out with this ball club. It's playing very good baseball. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and that will be fouled off. Came over the top with the delivery, and Smith was over the top on the swing as he fouls it right straight down.
Well, if Ubaldo's going to have the success against the lefties, he's going to have to cut that ball in there just as he did there. Good slider, throws it hard, works to the inside corner, and he can run that two-seam fastball off that pitch, and it'll work itself back onto the
inside corner instead of working in under the hands.
2-2 delivery on the way. That one will be taken down low for the stop, and the count will go to 3-2. He has backward numbers, if you will. Jimenez, bases empty, very high, 354. Runners get on, it drops to 259. Runners in scoring position. He's been outstanding. Just something about working out of the windup of all things, a much higher average. That one is going to miss inside, so he will surrender the walk, and Smith is on.
Let's look at the Orioles defense behind Jimenez tonight. Brimo getting the start in left field. Jones in center. Rickard in right. Machado and Scope would be the double-A combination. Giannis getting the start at third with Davis at first base, and Matt Wieters behind the plate.
So that will bring up Robinson Cano. What a start Cano has had to the season, leading this ball club. The .290, 12 home runs, 34 RBIs. He had a bit of a down year last year. He's had a hit in each of the last 7 road games, going 16 for 31 during that stretch on the road. And he's back to playing the way he was with the Yankees.
Yeah, you know, one of the best players in the game for sure. Last year, kind of an off year. First year in Seattle, but back to the old Robinson Cano.
Ooh, that was against the shift. Nobody over there. Rimo's got to chase it down. Smith coming to third is going to be held up. As the cutoff man is hit, it will be a double for Cano. Now Robinson Cano continues red hot, as Cano has now gone 7 for 12 with 2 home runs off Jimenez.
Well, when he's locked in, he has the great ability to use the whole field. You see the Orioles in the big shift, filling up that hole at first base. But he sees the opening and pulls the hands inside. Nice clean base hit down the left field line. Cano full of smiles. Yeah, his bat is red hot.
Well, that'll add to his .362 average here in this ballpark. And Jimenez in trouble here in the first inning. And Nelson Cruz is up. 2 in scoring position with 1 out. The Orioles will play the infield back. And Cruz will take the first pitch down low for a ball. Cruz is just the opposite of Cano against Jimenez. Cruz is 0 for 12 against him in that DH role. And Jimenez will hope that holds up here. Pitch on the way to him, and that's going to be a strike on the outside corner and at the knees.
Now, beautiful pitch right there. Nice 2-seamer working its way on the outside corner. You see the slider on the first pitch, just missing down low, but then backs it up with a beautiful fastball.
And that pitch came in. That'll miss. Take a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
Yeah, first inning numbers. Now the Orioles have had a hard time this year in the first inning. They've given up the 21 runs. On the other hand, Seattle's had some success. 22 runs scored and only 9 runs allowed in the first inning. That's the fewest.
And they're going to add some more right here. Smith will come in easily. Cano will make the turn. He will score. It'll be a long single as Rickard gets it back in, and the Mariners jump out to an early 2-0 lead as Cruz delivers a 2 RBI base hit.
Well, and if their boppers, Cano and Cruz, show any, or if this is any indication of how they're going to approach Ubaldo, they're going to be patient and back him up. Cano shooting one down the left field line here. Take a look at Cruz pulling the hands inside and rifling the one down the right field line for a couple RBI.
So each of them went the other way.
Yeah,
on their base hits.
Well, I think they're aware that Ubaldo, if you start getting too aggressive on Ubaldo, that split finger really comes into play.
Cruz has got 23 RBIs now, still only 1 out, 2 runs in. Seager coming up, one of the hot bats in the lineup, upping his average to 246 on the year, and that's going to be thrown away. It'll rebound towards right field, and down to second base will go Cruz. That will be an error on Jimenez on a bad throw to first base.
Yeah, really a bad decision. I don't think Nelson Cruz is going to go anywhere, and he almost walked to first base on that ball he hit down the right field line. You know, I think most teams, you know, they're cautious about Nelson Cruz, want him to stay healthy. So that pickoff attempt maybe just done on his own right there and cost him.
Yep. The Seattle team, if they've had one negative, it's with runners in scoring position. They're hitting only .223, which is 14th in the American League. They've already gotten 1 base hit here in the first inning, and now Seager's got a chance at another. Breaking ball gets away, and that's going to move the runner over. So Cruz will end up going to third, and Jimenez off to a real rocky start here in the first inning. It's a wild pitch.
Oh, here spiking the breaking ball, pulling it inside. He's missed a couple inside here, and it just kicks away from Wieters. Wieters tries to slide over there and keep it in front. And Nelson Cruz not hesitating when he sees a kick away from Wieters.
Orioles will play the infield now in a bit. Seager's hitting .375 in the month of May, 2 home runs. He will take the off-speed delivery, and it is in there for a strike. So Jimenez has already given up here in the first inning as many runs as he had in his previous starts combined in the first 2. 1-1 delivery. Seager looking, and you can just tell by the way they're approaching. They're coming up there taking some pitches.
Very patient right now against Ubaldo. Ubaldo's really mixed up his pitches as well, so throwing a lot of breaking balls and changeups. So it's a sound approach just to take. Let the ball travel.
Seager on a swing and a miss on a pitch that was a bit up. Came inside a little bit, and the count will go to 2-2. Seager to be followed by Lind in the lineup. Seager had a hit streak of 11 games, ended recently. It was through May 10, and that's when he pushed his average up. Seager will foul that one back, and a 2-ball 2-strike count. Let's take a look at our Coons leaderboard, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Yeah, well, speaking of being hot in May, how about the highest slugging percentage in May? David Ortiz, Jackie Bradley Jr. with the Red Sox leading the way, but there's Seager, .679, and Robinson Cano. Now these guys have been on fire in May. Seager 21 hits, a couple homers, and Cano 24 hits already this month with 4 home runs.
And Jimenez already up to 24 pitches thrown here and has recorded only 1 out. Seager 2 for 9, lifetime off the Orioles starter. The infield will try and cut this run down. Cruz does not have to go, of course, with only 1 away. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be inside. And another full count. 3-ball 2-strike count from Jimenez. As we said, opponent's hitting only 200 against him with runners in scoring position, one of the best numbers in the game.
Yeah, and there you see a big reason why some struggles. That fastball that he just missed with inside. The command not there. It's not coming back for him quite as well.
Another walk. Ugly. Yeah. That'll be the second walk in the inning. And that'll bring the visit to the mound as the Orioles starter needs a little help out there.
Yeah, and it seems like Ubaldo, either he has it or he doesn't.
Yeah.
In his real good starts, it's either 1 walk or no walks. And when he doesn't have the command, that walk rate really jumps up high. And here, too, in the first inning, not a very good indication. Hoping kind of Matt Wieters can get him right back into the strike zone.
So 2 on, first and third. With 1 away, the Orioles will play for the double play. Lind coming up. A familiar face to the Orioles and their fans. Adam Lind with Toronto for a long time. He comes in with a 4-game hit streak. A lot of games played against the Orioles, and has always been a tough out for the O's. .295 lifetime hitter against Oriole pitching. 1 away, and the pitch will be in there for a strike. And how much of this comes from the fact all these left-handers are in the lineup? I don't know.
Well, it definitely can get into a pitcher's head, trying to figure out a way to get through a left-handed stacked lineup. And if you don't have the confidence in 1 or 2 of your pitches, as we're seeing right now, you know, it could play for a long game. And Ubaldo's had those inconsistencies here start of this year, but 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
0-2 delivery on the way. Lind on the big cut. Foul tipped, held on to. So after the conference, 3 strikes in a row, and he gets the K.
How about that? How about just going out there and saying, let's be aggressive, stop messing around with the secondary pitches, and challenge with 3 fastballs. And that's all it took, all 3 quality pitches. Lind going down.
So 2 away, and that will bring up Iannetta. Chris Iannetta doing the catching. He comes in with a 4-game hit streak. Still first and third, but 2 down. And Iannetta will take the pitch down low, and this is a significant at bat very early in the ball game. Get out of here giving up 2. Not what you wanted, but it's the first inning. Give up some more, and it gets a little more dicey. 1-0 delivery on the way, a breaking ball and a good one. That only at 82 miles an hour. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh, real good pitch here to get back into the count. Nice breaking ball, locking Iannetta up. And Iannetta, you're going to have to work as well here. He a lot of walks, high on base percentage, the batting average not quite as high as he'd hope, but he's not afraid to take pitches and working it back.
Didn't like to call on it. Gets a strike. 1 ball, 2 strike count. So a chance for Jimenez to get out of the inning. Just giving up a couple of runs, 2 RBIs. Cruz picking him up with a base hit. He's the lead runner at third. Seager over there at first base. Seager's made no attempt to take off here. Base runners, of course, steal on Jimenez. 7 out of 9 successful this year. 1-2 delivery on the way, and a ground ball down to third that will go foul.
Yeah, Baldo a little bit longer back there with the arm stab. So base runners kind of pick their poison, wait for an opportunity to possibly go. The only saving grace is that the Orioles have a couple quality catchers, Matt Wieters and Caleb Joseph. Real quick feet back there with a quick release to control the running game.
Seattle 3-game losing streak to the Angels, who beat them. And a swing and a miss, a good off-speed delivery. He strikes out the side, but in between, a couple of RBIs. We'll check the Oriole lineup when we come back. Mark here at home. Here's the lineup for him, brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Rickard, Machado, and Jones, Davis, Trumbo, and Wieters, Scope, Reimold, and Yanish. Mark Trumbo in the games against Seattle 2015. Look at the home runs and RBIs.
We'll take a look at Wade Miley's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 51% of the time, 4-seam, 2-seamer, high 80s, low 90s with the heater, but he can get some pretty good action on the 2-seam fastball and a natural cut on the 4-seamer. Slider, curve, and change to go along with it. 7 starts this year, 3-2 record, a 4.91 earned run average that has come down though his last 4 starts. And I don't know if you noticed, but on that last graph there, 8 home runs given up by Miley, so he is susceptible to long ball this year.
7 of the 8 hit by right-handers. 0-1 delivery on the way. Joey Rickard will take it inside. So just as Seattle stacked their lineup with the lefties against Jimenez, Buck Showalter has stacked the lineup with right-handers. Chris Davis will be the only left-hander in the lineup for the Orioles against Miley. And a breaking ball. Did he go? Nope. Rob Drake down at first base. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Miley works very quickly. He gets the ball and gets it back in. He's 48% ground balls, but has induced a lot of ground ball double plays this year, 4th highest. Rickard will pop that one up. It'll come back over the screen.
Now Orioles offense really have to understand Miley's tempo in this ball game. If he starts getting into a rhythm and he's working fast, they need to find ways to offset his rhythm and timing on the mound. Just step out, call timeout, do something.
That'll be a 3-ball 2-strike count. Rickert taking that one down low. Joey getting his first chance against the Seattle Mariners, playing in right field to start this ball game. 3-2 delivery on the way, and he walked it. So the Orioles will get one, and Miley hasn't given up many. 1.8 walks per 9 innings. That's tied for the 6th lowest in the American League, and he walks the first batter.
Yeah, typically very aggressive in the strike zone, but falling behind Joey and can't get that breaking ball over. Manny Machado, big home run on Sunday. 8 of his 11 homers this season right here at Camden Yards. Manny's been one of the best players, if not the best player in the game the first 2 months of the season.
Putting up enormous numbers here at home. And he will take the pitch, and that'll be away for a ball. .370 batting average at home's 3rd highest in the league. He is 1st in home runs in his home ballpark, and he is 3rd in RBIs in his home ballpark. 1-0 pitch by Miley, and a swing and a miss at 89. Little movement down and in that time. 1-1.
Yeah, Miley works fast, kind of across his body with his delivery. At times you're going to see pitches that appear to just be blown by hitters, and a lot of times because of the quick arm and just the deception with his delivery. That cross body is tough on hitters at times. You see the very good move there. Miley controls the running game very well. See the opponent average by situation for Wade Miley. And deep inside the numbers says with the bases empty, he is a stud. 245, but when runners get on, wow, did the numbers jump. 328 and then 357 with runners in scoring position. Now those numbers are kind of skewed a little bit. Beginning of the year, of course, they'll come down throughout his career. He's been very good with runners on and runners in scoring position.
2 pitchers with exactly the opposite numbers in that regard. Jimenez, as we told you, when there's nobody on is when he gives up most hits, and then it comes down as it gets tougher. Miley is the other way around. 1-2 delivery, foul back by Manny. Manny is 3 for 7 lifetime against Miley with the 1 home run off him. The Orioles have seen Miley when he was pitching with the Boston Red Sox a number of times, so the veterans in this lineup have been exposed to this left-hander. At first base, Rickert tight to the bag. Lind holding. Miley looking right over. 1-2 delivery. A looper popped up second base. Robinson Cano will come over and put it away, and Manny is retired.
Well, let's take a look at the Mariners defense behind Miley. Aoki, Martin, and Smith in the Mariners outfield. Marte and Cano, the double play combination with Seager and Lind on the corners. Iannetta doing the catching.
And that will bring up Adam Jones. The hot bat is back. 8-game hit streak for him, raising the average up to 267. During the hit streak that he has been on, he's raised his average from $198 to 267.
Nice to see.
That's a big jump.
With some power as well.
Yeah. During the hit streak, 2 doubles, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 10 runs scored. And he has knocked in at least 1 run in 6 consecutive ball games. Second longest such streak of his career. And you can see now that those muscles around the ribcage feel good, he can swing like that, and he wasn't doing that before.
Yeah, exactly. I think the swing a little bit long and maybe protective of something going on there in the ribcage. You see the numbers there in April, just 224, but in May it's like he's healthy, letting the ball travel, and you can see the explosion in that swing. It's staying nice and tight.
1-1 in the dirt. Good stop made. Iannetta. So Adam trying to get an inning going for the Orioles in the first after Miley got a 2-0 lead before he ever got to the mound. 3.4 ratio, better than last year because the walks are down. Adam, a nasty pitch down and in, and a 2-ball 2-strike count.
Now Miley got that fastball in on Manny Machado, and they're blowing one by Adam Jones, and a lot of it is the fact that he can get on top of it. It's quite a downhill angle. He's only 6 feet tall, and you really have to get that arm on top to create the angle, and he's doing it there.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, hit in the air and hit hard deep to center field. Martin going back, has room. and will put it away almost 400 feet away. Adam Jones to dead center field on that one, and there are 2 down. Rickard goes back to first base. Had a pretty good thought to it.
Yeah.
Not quite far enough.
Well, Adam had a nice swing on that pretty much same pitch, inside fastball, and he got the barrel to it. Nice job by the center fielder Martin to just put the head down and run to the spot.
So 2 away, and that will bring up Chris Davis. So the only left-hander in the Orioles lineup facing the southpaw. The shift put on. They hold Seager at third. They try and take away the bunt. Davis will take a breaking ball for a strike. Chris is hitting 190 against left-handers, 281 off the righties. Of the 9 home runs, only 1 has come against a left-hander. He is 2 for 7 lifetime off Wade Miley. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that will be taken down low. Miley concerned about the strike zone here early on. Thought he had that one across the plate and at the knees. Took a little extra time looking in just for Jerry Davis to know.
Well, every pitcher wants that low strike.
There it is with a breaking ball, and he gets the call there, and the count goes to 1-2 on Chris.
Well, pretty good mix here after just missing with the fastball in the bottom of the zone. Nice slow breaking ball. Doesn't have to be too fine with it. Just flip it up there for a strike.
He's hanging those pitches right on the corners and right on the black. Rickard off first base. 1-2 delivery to Davis, and that one will be up high. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Seattle team much improved from last year. They have the same series record as the Orioles. They've won 8, lost 3, and tied 1 series. They finished last year 76 and 86, 10 games under and 12 games out. Davis will take it, and that will just miss. So Miley continues to move around the corners here. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Rickard will be running.
Yeah, that's the key to his success. Moving everything around. Look at him work the edges here on the pitch track. The fastballs are down and breaking balls on the outside corner.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Runner goes, and he walked him. Boy, for Miley, that's a lot of walks, and that's in the first inning. He has walked 2. And the Orioles keep it going. 2 walks. Put runners at first and second.
I think there are a lot of times pitchers get a little worried facing this Orioles lineup. You see a couple walks on breaking balls there and 3-2 counts. You don't want to leave a cookie to a hitter like Chris Davis, but the problem is you get Trumbo waiting in the wings with his 11 home runs.
So Mark Trumbo gets the chance here. The DH 1 for 2 off Miley. Trumbo goes after the first pitch. Pretty good heater at 90 and fouls it back. You can see when Miley's throwing strikes, the differentiation with his breaking ball, changeup, and the fastball is pretty significant.
Yeah, it really is. It really takes a lot off, and that's the reason why when he does have success, that ability to keep guys off balance.
Swing and a miss as he went for one down, and I mean down just off the top of the plate. So Mike Trumbo with Seattle last year. He played in 96 games at .263. He had 13 home runs and 41 RBIs with Seattle. Appeared in 46 games with Arizona and 96 with the Mariners last year. 0-2 delivery. That's going to be down low, and Iannetta will stop that one. Steve Clevenger, backup catcher, part of the deal that brought Trumbo from Seattle to the Orioles. Steve's with the ball club and getting playing time.
Yeah, wish him well after they leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, you always do that. Absolutely. There's Steve in the middle.
There he is.
1-ball, 2-strike count. Runners off first and second base, and that's a good stop by Iannetta again. So both these pitchers piling up pitches here in the first inning. 26 for Miley. He's got 2 down, but he needs Trumbo, so both have had to pitch a little pressure here very early, with Jimenez having 34 first inning pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Trumbo will back out.
Well, Trumbo putting together a good at bat after a couple quick strikes. Chases the hard slider down in the dirt, but lays off the last 2. Well, we're thinking he's going to expand a little bit with the 2 strikes. Good patience here from Trumbo.
2-2 delivery to him, and that's in the dirt. Iannetta blocks it. Runner's going to go to third. Good read by Rickard. That'll be a wild pitch. That'll be the second this year for Miley.
Yeah, real nice read. Joey Rickard out at second base, watching the ball kind of kick up that first base line. Take a look here. Spikes it in the dirt off the shin guard, and Joey Rickard has a great look at this ball. You can see it kick off and then kick well away from Iannetta. Very tough read for Davis at first. You wonder, well, why doesn't he just follow Rickard? He can't see the depth of the baseball, first of all, from Iannetta, because it's right on the first base line. Takes a quick glance at Rickard, and then if you double clutch, you think twice about it, you're going to get picked off. So wise decision by Davis to hold his ground.
So 3-2 down. Davis at first will be running. Lynn moves behind him. Trumbo will foul that one off, and the inning will continue. This will be the 7th pitch coming up of this at bat, as both sides are starting out really hurting the opponent pitcher as far as having a tough first inning all the way around. Trumbo 3-2 again. Trumbo 200 off lefties so far this year. Will foul another one. And Miley kind of grabs his cap and goes, now what am I going to do?
Yeah,
I've thrown everything I got here.
Yeah, everything in the book at him right now. And you say Trumbo only the 200 hitter against lefties this year, but he's done some serious damage. 5 home runs. He's only had 7 hits off lefties this year, but 5 have been homers.
That'll go to short, hit hard. Play's got to go to first. Marte gets it over there, and Miley works his way out of it. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. After 1 in the opener of this 3-game set, Seattle leads it 2-0. Overall 21-16, but they too have found the roller coaster.
Yeah, a little bit of a roller coaster ride for the Mariners to start the season. They had pretty good pitching, but their offense wasn't quite there, and then they got on a serious roll. Everything working together, pitching .283, scoring 5 runs per game, and that led to that 16-5 record. Over this past weekend, the Angels came into town. The pitching wasn't quite there, weren't able to put some runs on the board, and they got swept by the Angels. Losing all 3 games.
2 big comebacks in the first 2 late by the Angels against a very good Seattle bullpen, and then shut out in the last game. 0-1 delivery. Marte up. Ketel Marte last year with Seattle only got in 57 games. He had a fractured left thumb that cost him time. Martin on deck. That'll go to first. Davis, and Marte is retired. 1 away. Tickets are still available for the final 2 games in this series, and tomorrow O's and M's will battle at 7:05. Then on Thursday you can get out of the office early for a 12:35 affair. Go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for tickets. Martin playing in center field, carries only a .214 average against the Orioles. He's had only 1 hit off Jimenez, and that was a home run. Aoki waiting on deck. A speed delivery is going to be in there for a strike. So Jimenez will try and get that pitch count significantly down here by having a quick inning if he can. It'll be down the line and foul.
We like the fact that he's aggressive in the zone, but I think that's another reason why his numbers are so high with nobody on base. He's so worried about walking guys that he throws so many strikes. Just, not too concerned about working the edges only when runners get on base, and that's when you see the walk count get up there and then mistakes made on the plate.
Pitch will be taken up high, and the count will go to 1-2. Okay, claimed off waivers. Pitch, that one will be foul back. The Orioles getting that work out of Rickard, a waiver player who's played so well for them. And on the other side, couple for Seattle we'll talk about as we go along, that they've been able to get off waivers. 1-2 delivery over the top with the fastball, or no, only 83 on it. 2 ball 2 strike count.
Yeah, pretty good take right there from Martin. Not even a flinch over the top change.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that will go to first base. Davis has got that one. 2 ground balls to first.
I don't think Martin was thinking that Ubaldo was going to double up with the off-speed pitch, and another changeup or split finger there to get him out in front. Easy rollover and quick 2 outs.
So top of the order, Aoki coming up. He was called out on strikes his first time to the plate. Aoki's actually drawn a few walks. He's one of the type of leadoff hitters who he swings at pitches. He's not up there to get walks. And he does so right there. Reimold out in left will be waiting on this one. Well, how about that? Come back with a 1-2-3 inning, a whole lot quicker than the first one. Seattle on top 2-0. From Northeast has won 500 for being selected, and you get 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs, win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Go to mdlottery.com/baseball. Good luck, Beatrice. Wade Miley, the left-hander, lifetime 52 wins, 48 losses. He is 0-2 against the Orioles with an ERA of 10.13 against the O's. Here is Matt Wieters. Switch hitting catcher will take the pitch for a strike. Matt has had a 1-for-4 off Miley, and that was a home run. 211 off lefties, 234 off righties for the Orioles catcher. And then Miley will miss with that. This is an umpire, Jerry Davis, behind the plate, whose strike zone has historically been pretty small. Favors the hitters significantly in that regard historically. And you've already seen Miley look in a couple of times in the first inning, wondering about calls.
Yeah, a couple borderline pitches at the bottom of the zone called balls.
Jerry, great umpire, consistent veteran. That one on off the fist to center. 19 will come in and put it away. Take a look at our PNC Inside the Numbers.
Boy, the Orioles are in the spring swing for sure. Since May 7th through the 16th, their record 7-2. That's first in Major League Baseball. But look at the runs per game, 6.22. Batting average 293. But the home runs, 19 homers. That's first. What new? This Orioles offense, powerhouse offense, and doesn't hurt much when your team captain Adam Jones starts getting hot. He's been hitting .321 with 4 homers this month. Machado's been red hot. Jonathan Scope. My goodness, this offense has been on fire.
Scope hitting .333 over the last 17 games. That one off the fists against the shift. Cano runs, makes a nice play. Had to come from the other side of second base. 2 down. Celebrate Memorial Day at Oriole Park. Birds take on the Red Sox 135. Fans get the Orioles Memorial Day t-shirt. The unofficial start of summer. Do it right here at the Yard. Get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Nolan Reimold. Nolan's got a 7-game hit streak coming into the ball game, and that has put that average up to .340. Limited playing time, of course, for Nolan, but when in, he's been hitting. It's his 22nd game. It'll go to short, and that's that. Marte puts it away. So both of these pitchers struggled in the first inning and then took care of the opposition in the second into 12. T-Mobile. In our Major League Notebook on our East Wind Blades, the Blue Jays, they've now lost 4 of their last 5. Starting rotation, ERA way up. Jimmy Paredes, claimed off waivers from the Orioles, is dressed. He has been added to the 25-man roster for Toronto. And the Red Sox have won 16 of their last 21, hitting .298 over that 21-game span. This year, their 229 runs so far are the most in the majors.
That Red Sox offense is just unstoppable right now. They're almost up to 9 runs per game. It's crazy.
They played KC tonight. Pitch by Jimenez will be taken down low for a ball. Here is Seth Smith. He drew a walk and scored in the first inning. 2-3-4 in the lineup against Jimenez. 1-0 pitch, and that will be in there for a strike. We mentioned the Orioles' great home record. The Seattle team has taken advantage of the road. They are 13-6 on the road. By the looks of that shot, we may have a rainbow. Sun's out.
Yeah.
And it was raining a little bit.
Yeah, Baltimore. Who would have thought, right?
Rain? How can that be? Yes, that's the way it's been kind of all day. A little misty, and the sun shining off the warehouse windows.
Well, at least we get some sun, right?
That's it. Sunset, but hey, it's there. 1 ball, 2 strike count to Smith. And a swing and a miss on a heater. It's 4 strikeouts for Jimenez.
Yeah, beautiful pitch here. Take a look at the Mercedes pitch track, and boom, good fastball up and away. Of course, getting ahead now. Hitter's got in the back of his head. Split finger, and this fastball gets on Smith and by him.
Records the first out. He's gotten all 3 leadoff batters. That'll bring Cano to the plate. Cano picked up a double, would score. Now 7 for 12, 2 home runs off Jimenez. Takes the pitch down low for a ball. So he continues with his road numbers. Cano now over 363 on the road. 213 at Safeco. That one's in the air to left field, right at Reimold. 2 down. Take a look at our Mile 1 upcoming schedule. Mile 1 Automotive offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at mile1.com.
Yeah, 2 games left in this homestand. They play in the Mariners tomorrow night at 7, and then on Thursday, check the time, 12:30 start against the Mariners.
And that'll bring up Nelson Cruz, DHing, and did some damage with a 2 RBI single back in the first inning. First hit off Jimenez in 13 chances, and we'll foul that one away. Designated hitter, carries a .350 lifetime average against his former team, the Orioles, both before he was an Oriole and since. Here in this ballpark, 18 home runs hit. The great year he had with the O's, part of the big power lineup for the Orioles. Now doing the same for Seattle. 1-1 delivery, and that'll be foul back. There's a rainbow out there.
Check it out. Oh yeah, isn't that nice right there?
Oh, look at that.
Little rain, little sun, that's what you get.
Very pretty. 1-2. And Cruz takes it up high. Pretty good night to be at the ballpark, actually. It was 55 degrees, but there's no wind blowing. With that sun coming out a little bit at the end, it's a comfortable evening. Cruz, 2-ball, 2-strike count. You can see why they're winning on the road. You look at Cano's numbers we gave you. You look at Nelson Cruz, same thing. He's hitting .324, 18 road games, a .197 at home.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. I mean, Safeco is not a hitter's yard exactly, but it's not the Grand Canyon. 3-2 delivery by Jimenez, and he will walk him. So 3 walks surrendered. That will keep the inning alive. 2 down, 1 on for Seager.
Well, you definitely have to be careful with Cruz, and I guess a good job being careful, but then you get one of the hottest hitters in the game right behind Cruz and Seager.
Shift is on as they move the third baseman Paul Yanish over into that outfield right field position. Kyle Seager. He drew a walk his first time up. Couple of hits, 9 at bats off Jimenez. Takes it in the dirt. Wieters makes the stop.
Another pretty nice stop there by Matt Wieters. Way too many balls in the dirt here to start this ball game, but quickly up with the ball and checking the runner.
Outfield pretty much straight. Not pretty much. They are straight up. 1-0 delivery, and that'll be hit the other way. Reimold moves under it, puts it away. Good job by Jimenez. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Orioles coming up, bottom of the 3rd. on Massa is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by your Baltimore BMW centers. Visit BaltimoreBMW.com today for exceptional offers. The Birds have it. Mariners have the 2-0 lead. Roy Orbison, Pretty Woman. What a great song.
Yeah, it is.
You ever see that? Public television uses it a lot as a fundraiser. Black and White, Roy Orbison, Bruce Springsteen, Bonnie Raitt. You seen that show?
No.
Oh my gosh. If you like any of them, watch it. They did a concert in a small club a long time ago. Roy Orbison, the star, Elvis Costello, Bruce Springsteen, Elvis's original lead guitar player.
Wow.
Bonnie Raitt was in the chorus. With a couple of other big stars I can't remember right now. 3 women in the chorus who were all significant stars on their own.
Jeez.
Great show. Great show. I think it's called Black and White because it was in black and white. Yanish, he'll pop that one back while getting the start at third base. As we said, he has not started there since 2013. But as Mike said, he works out there.
Yeah, definitely. And he can catch the baseball anywhere on the field. Just a well-rounded baseball player. Just so happens he has shortstop skills. So very hard to find quality major league players that can play all the infield positions, and especially stand out at shortstop.
He's played 57 games at third base previously. And the most in any one season was in 2013 when he played 36 games at that position. So another right-hander in the lineup with Yanish at third base. 2-ball 2-strike delivery by Miley. Ground ball off the end of the bat. Marte's got it. Records the out, one away here in the bottom of the third inning. So Wade Miley settling down a little bit.
Well, one thing Miley's doing here in the last couple innings is locating that fastball inside, not missing it. He's either just going in off the plate or dotting it right on the inside corner.
Drew a walk his first time up. Miley will get it in there for a strike. Joey Rickert left stranded at third base in that inning. That'll go to right center. It'll come back towards Smith and he'll put it away. And there are 2 down. That'll bring up Manny Machado. Manny popped out his first time up. In our major league notebook, about starting at third. He hasn't just played third base, he's played it as well as anyone in the game. Machado is carving out a serious case that he should be the AL MVP this year. Machado has played well enough to get the ultimate all-star honor of starting. His time has come. Richard Justice from MLB.com.
No secret anymore, right?
No.
Manny Machado's a pretty good player.
Yeah. At short or third. Manny will take the pitch for a strike from Miley. Yeah, his time has come, and there's a lot of time of it ahead, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
0-1 pitch to him, and a big swing and a miss. Manny has hit safely in 19 of the 22 home games this year. 370 here at Camden Yards. 8 home runs, 21 RBIs in this ballpark. So he really loves coming back home and playing here.
Well, Manny Machado has just an unbelievable skill set, first and foremost. But I think when you look at his short career, you know, some of the players that have helped him, one who he's playing against today, Nelson Cruz, and you can see the similarities in the approach. A little bit open, nice and quiet, lets the ball travel. So kind of a tribute to Manny, just saying, listen, I'm going to do whatever it takes, pick everybody's brain and try to figure out what works for me. And he has locked into this approach, uses the whole field with incredible power.
In the air, popped up right center. Who wants it in the Bermuda Triangle? Cano, as good as going back on the ball at second as anyone. Puts it away. Camden Yards to sight. Seattle leads. a lot of teammates and coaches. Third annual baseball at the Mustang Bowling Alley in Harbor East. The benefit, it is for the Department of Recreation 9 and 12-year-old baseball player program. It provides equipment, the fields, everything that they need. Oriole players got to bowl. The sponsors got to have a member of the Orioles on their team. I had the great delight of emceeing that for Manny. It was a really wonderful night and a great project that he deeply cares about the kids in the city getting to play.
Absolutely, and I think it's great that Manny's really starting to become more involved in the community. He obviously loves the Orioles, but a great example, Adam Jones, who's done so much.
That'll be grounded by Adam Lind. Scope.
So, you know, Manny kind of learning. We talked about him learning from Nelson Cruz. I think he's taken a lead from Adam Jones as well. Okay, Adam Jones, a superstar. He's so well respected in this community for the things he does. And Manny's kind of taken that to heart. And he wants to be one of those guys that's well respected in his community and, you know, be a great ambassador for Baltimore, you know, in Major League Baseball.
You see him talking with Nelson Cruz and Cano. Distraction personified right there. Here's Chris Iannetta, strikeout victim, his first time up. And Manny's wife, I can't let the fact go that she is absolutely directly involved, not only in the event, but in what takes place for the kids playing ball. She is really into doing that and cares just as Manny does about that. And I give her great credit for that. She was there and active and working at it on Sunday. Chris Iannetta to be followed by Marte. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Shift on in the infield. He'll take the pitch up by Jimenez. First inning dominated by the hitters. Since then, pitchers have taken over. Since the first, only 1 walk, the only base runner. Jimenez gave that up in the third. 2-1 delivery. Right-hander will miss outside with it and work the count to 3-1.
Well, Baldo, it's nice to see him start to get into a little rhythm, but as he does, so does Wade Miley on the other side. And now it's a matter of can the Orioles offense make an adjustment against Miley, and can Baldo continue to stay consistent here in this game?
That ball down the line in right field, heading towards the scoreboard. Rickard over will make the running catch in the corner. One eye on where's the wall in the door and the other eye on where's the ball.
Yeah, great play there by Joey Rickard, and not as easy as he makes it look. This ball is cutting away from him, going into that triangle down there, Devil's Triangle, full speed. Makes the nice running play, and there is the wall right in front of him.
Good play by Rickard. And there are 2 down. Ketel Marte, he grounded out his first time up. Last year at this time, Seattle was 17-20. This year, 21-16. So they have made a significant improvement. They are tied for first with Texas, having lost 3 in a row for the division lead, just as the Orioles are with the Red Sox. 1-0 pitch, that'll be taken for his strike. Worth noting that Matt Wieters behind the plate is catching Jimenez for the first time this year. Caleb Joseph has been the catcher in all of the other starts made by Ubaldo Jimenez down low. And there is Caleb. Not so much of a matchup of pitcher catcher as it was when they were rotating, going in and out, and not back-to-back games. They wanted to keep Caleb working with him. That'll go to second. Scope's got to hustle it. Little flip right there, almost handcuffed Chris, but they get the out. So another 1-2-3 inning. See if the Orioles offense can do it. Jones, Davis, and Trumbo coming up. Ball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid, all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick with you. First of three. These two teams split the season series last year, 3-3. Orioles will play 3 here. They'll be going to Seattle for a series starting on June 30 through July 3. All time, the Orioles have a lead at home, 118 wins, 77 losses here at Camden Yards against Seattle. Adam Jones will lead it off, fly out to center field deep. First time up. Left-handed Wade Miley's pitch to him. That'll be fouled back into the screen. Jumped on one right off the bat.
And you kind of see him reminding himself right there, that front shoulder pulling off, the fastball away. If there's any leak of that front side, foul it off, or maybe a weak pop-up. Adam reminding himself there to stay over the baseball, drive it to right center.
A little different kind of a shift on against Adam. They've got Robinson Cano almost directly behind second base, and the shortstop Marte moved significantly over towards third. So a lot of holes, but not up the middle. 1-1 swing and a miss on a pitch away, and a good one.
And there are a lot of times hitters look at a shift and think, okay, they're going to probably try to pitch me hard in right there. And I think Adam Jones thinking that as well. And Iannetta setting up away with the fastball and then the changeup away as well.
1-2 delivery. That's going to be down the line. Adam Jones does have the homer off Miley.
Yeah, last year the Orioles were able to get to him when Miley was with the Red Sox, and here you see the bomb deep left field.
Miley pitched with Arizona, then with Boston prior to joining Seattle this year. 1-2 delivery off the fist and fouled right straight back. He's out of Southeast Louisiana, and an outstanding career in the Southland Conference. Strikeout pitcher, as you would expect. Good pitchers at that level generally are. The collegiate level. 1-2. Adam will take that one, and it is down low. A 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Well, Miley's had some inconsistencies in his career, but one thing about him for sure is he's durable. He'll get 190, 200 innings for you, which is huge. Hard to find nowadays.
And he's left-handed and breathing. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's down the line in right. The lack of right-handed power hitters around Major League Baseball, Buck Showalter's talked about, and left-handed pitching. Trying to find it either in relievers or especially as starters.
Yeah.
Not a lot around. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Adam will put that one down the line again in right field. Smith, long run, gets there in foul territory. Had to reach back a little bit, and Adam is retired. One away. Visit Orioles.com/vote orange. Vote for the 16 All-Star game. Vote at least 5 times. Select O's your favorite team. You're entered to win an All-Star game jersey signed by the Oriole All-Stars. Vote 20 times. Select the O's and you receive a promo code for a buy one get one ticket offer for any in the July series against the Rockies. So vote early, vote often, vote orange today. Choices everywhere. Chris Davis drew a walk his first time up. A year ago, Chris hit 300, 6 for 22 home runs against Seattle. This time he goes into the shift. Robinson Cano with that great arm. Cano plays as effortlessly, I think, as I've ever seen an infielder play.
Yeah, almost to the point that it bothers you that somebody can play this game at such a high level and make it look so effortless.
Doesn't make many mistakes.
An incredible arm, and it's not very fundamentally sound. He throws it right from the hip.
Catches one-handed aside, saddles balls and stuff, but certainly gets it done. There is Mike Trumbo, grounded out his first time up. Trumbo will take the pitch up high. Trumbo's tied 3 players for the most homers off left-handed pitching, what Mike was talking about, with 5 of the 7 hits being home runs off lefties. And that will come inside. So Miley will work carefully. He knows that, and a 2-0 count.
And that's, I think, a big reason why he's kind of settled in and had some success here in the early part of this ball game after the rough first inning. That fastball, ability to spot it in just off the plate. Misses a little low right there, but he's been on with the pitch, being very careful with Trumbo.
3-0 count. Mark will take it. It is there for a strike. Miley has struck out only 34 in the 48 innings he has now worked. Not a strikeout pitcher. Ball in play. As we said, about 50-50 ground ball, fly balls. Trumbo wanted to take the walk there. Will hold up.
Buck didn't like the call. Trumbo didn't like the call, and neither did the crowd. Change up down at the bottom of the zone, and it's working down. It's fading down. Buck Showalter saying, missed it there.
3-2 delivery, and fouls it back. Suspect all baseball fans have seen the numerous fines and suspensions level. 14 players, Texas, Toronto, in that blow up that they had. Odor got an 8-game suspension for fighting. That was the big one. Bautista, the guy he landed the punch against, received a 1-game suspension. Jesse Chavez, Blue Jays pitcher, got a 3-game for intentionally throwing, and Ranger shortstop Elvis Andrus got a 1-game for aggressive actions during the ruckus. In the air to left field, Aoki, and he's got it. Oh, another 1-2-3 inning. That's 3 of those in a row. Miley has settled it in. 2-0 Mariners. He was looking at a player who hit a walk-off home run. The guy flipped the bat. Keep in mind the Ranger Toronto incident as you listen to Buck between the lines.
All the guys were coming out of the dugout to congratulate him on a walk-off home run, but the bat almost wiped out his teammates as it got flipped over towards them. That's been pretty bad. You walk off home run, you clear out your starting infield with your bat. Then you see the Little League World Series, and you see so many things that they're emulating that they see up here. But, you know, trying to make the game fun again, right?
Was that sarcasm?
Yes. You have to listen closely, and you have to read between the lines. As Buck was talking about what went on between Texas and Toronto, and the bat flip by Bautista that, you know, last year set the stage for what happened in the ball game. Buck is old-fashioned in that regard, and I don't mean that negatively.
No.
He means a respect for the game, a respect for the opponent you're playing. He doesn't like flashy stuff.
Yeah.
But he did add, you know, trying to add excitement to the game, but that was sarcasm.
Well, there's excitement to the game when these guys get into a ball and hit it 400 plus feet anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think a guy has to flip his bat or show anybody up. I think they can admire it for a second if they want, and then get going and run in the dugout and celebrate with your teammates.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the fun of it. It isn't showing an opposing player up. It's about beating an opposing player, but doing it the right way.
3-ball, 2-strike count. I think that's the third player in this game who has started to the dugout thinking it was strike 3. That's the third time in this game that's happened. 3-2 delivery on the way. That'll go to short. Manny Machado up, and he can go to the dugout now. Martin is retired, went away. Our PNC minor league report. PNC for the Achiever in you.
Well, some pretty good arms right here. Chris Lee pitching in Bowie right now. 5-0 record with a 2.41 earned run average. He was very impressive in spring training. Big left arm. And how about Peralta pitching in Delmarva right now? This kid's only 19 years old. At a 1.96 earned run average with 30 punch outs. He's got a big time arm. They're worried about his command. Well, he seems to be commanding it pretty well right now. 30 punch outs in 27 innings.
Aoki, leadoff batter. He has flied out and struck out. Jimenez will get the pitch inside. These two teams leading their divisions. Only one other season where both Seattle and Baltimore made the playoffs. That was back in '97. And in that year, as division champs, the O's defeated the M's 3-1.
Yeah.
Back in '97. Now they meet again, leading the division with a long way to go in the year. 2-1 pitch on the way. Aoki will foul that one back upstairs.
Well, still pretty exciting that Seattle playing some good baseball. They've really tried out there in the West Coast to put together a quality team. They're very aggressive a couple years ago when they landed Cano, and then to bring Cruz over there.
Down to third, and that'll be a base hit. It is a fair ball. Janisch making the dive at it. Had no chance. So Aoki gets the infield single.
Well, maybe not a chance of making the play. Aoki very quick left-hander out of the box, but he definitely saved the double. Nice effort there by Janisch, and even if he gets it clean, probably not a shot at throwing him out.
Yep. That's the first hit since the first inning when Cruz had the 2 RBI single that brought in Smith, who had walked, and Cano, who had doubled. The Orioles have not had a base runner since the first inning when they got 2 walks. Seattle 2-3-0. The Orioles 0-0-1. And the throw over. Aoki back. Aoki can run. They prefer in most cases that he does not. He tends to take off sometimes when they'd rather have him stay. He loves to try and steal bases. However, he's only 2 out of 8.
He got caught quite a few times. Isn't he leading baseball or leading the American League in caught stealing? And it's not like he has a lot of samples.
No.
2 of 8.
No.
Well, it's not easy to steal bases. You see his career, though, so he has stolen bases. There is an art at the major league level, getting jumps, reading pitchers, understanding what pitches are being thrown.
You know, Aoki was salivating when he saw base runners were 7 out of 9 against Jimenez.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's still at first.
He does like to take off. All right, 0-2 count, 1 down. Smith at the plate with Cano waiting on deck. Seth Smith, their right fielder, the walk in the first inning and scored, struck out in the third. Way up high, Wieters taking a look. Matt has thrown out 3 of 7. And everybody's taking an eye over there at first base. See whether or not he's going to be going.
Yeah, 0-2, not a good count to run on. You see the high fastball there, and that's really just a protective case. Something a pitch Wieters can handle.
Runner does not go, and the pitch is going to be outside. 2 ball, 2-strike count on Smith. Up to 83 pitches thrown. So many of those at 34 coming in the first inning of the ball game. 2-2. Aoki's extended his lead by a half step over there. And then as a long hold. There's the throw over. It's like a car in neutral and you're revving the engine. Pushing that pedal down as far as you can. 2 ball, 2 strike count, and there he goes. Pitch is fouled off.
A pretty good jump.
Yeah. Now, how did you feel as a base runner or as a hitter with guys running at different counts, especially 2 strikes?
It didn't bother me at all.
No.
And I've had some really good base stealers hitting, behind me and guys on base, like Brady Anderson, Ricky Henderson, those kind of guys. And the real base stealers, they don't care if you swing or take or whatever. If you get a good pitch, swing at it. So they made me feel comfortable in the box. I didn't have to think about them running. But the problem, a lot of hitters have problems when runners do a lot of different things at second base. If they steal with 2 strikes, that's kind of one of those unwritten rules in baseball, because too many things happening out there at the middle of the field. And that's really the only time a hitter will get upset at a guy running.
Well, 3-2 count here, 1 down. All you fans out there, you manage now. Do you send Aoki? 1 away. 2-0 Seattle lead. 5th inning. We'll see. It's Scott Service. He sends him. Pitch is a walk. So that'll be the 4th free pass of the ball game. It'll put runners on at first and second with 1 away. Don't miss your final chance to take advantage of Birdland's best value family entertainment. Sign the family up for the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. Membership options, all kids 14 and under. Choice of 2 5-game packages. Exclusive benefits like game tickets, a club hat, sunglasses, and more. Friends and family can purchase additional tickets to Dugout Club games as little as $6. Memberships are nearly sold out. Go to Orioles.com/Dugout Club. So 1 down, 2 on. First time since the first inning. Seattle is threatened. And not who you want at the plate in this situation. Robinson Cano has a double and a run scored. And he is flied out to left field. And Cano, the big bats in the middle of this order, now with a chance to do some damage. Hitting .262 with runners in scoring position. Cano grounds out one towards the hole. He's got a base hit. Aoki will be waved home. Rickard up with it. No place to go but the cutoff man. So Cano comes through again. A base hit and an RBI and a 3-0 Seattle lead.
Now, when you're hot, you're hot. Just so tough to defend. The Orioles defense had a shift on in his first at bat. Slaps it the other way. Orioles defense playing straight up. He hooks one through the hole here and drive in a run.
So Cano, a couple of RBIs. He's the leader in the American League. He's got 36 runs batted in. David Ortiz starting the day second with 33. And now it will be Cruz. Cruz already has 2 RBIs on a base hit. And he has drawn a walk. Runners at first and second. And 1 away. Cruz .278 in these situations. Goes after the first pitch looking for the long ball.
Yeah, aggressive cut on a fastball. And see Brian Mattis getting loose in the Orioles bullpen. There's enough life on that heater at the top of the zone from Cruz. Get it down a little bit. Ooh, danger zone.
One delivery, and that's ripped down the line into left field. That'll be chased by Reimold. Smith will score. Cano coming to third. Throw to second to hold him to a base hit. A 3 RBI ball game for Nelson Cruz. And a 4-0 lead for Seattle. Cano goes to third. Coming home Smith.
I'm not going to say this is a mistake pitch. Definitely catching too much of the plate. But you see Wieters setting up outside. The ball leaks back over the 2-seamer. And there's the inconsistencies that we talked about. It's giving Cruz way too much of an opportunity to square it up. He does there and drives in another.
So 2 runs scored in the first inning on 2 hits. 2 more have been added so far in the 5th on 3 hits and a walk. Runners at first and third, and that's going to be it. Buck Showalter is on his way out. So not a good start for Ubaldo Jimenez, as he will work just 4 1/3 innings in this ball game. It will be his shortest outing of the year, and the Orioles will have to go to the bullpen early in this one, trailing 4-0.
pitch arsenal comparison, just the command wasn't there for Ubaldo. A couple bad innings, and that led to the earliest exit this season, only lasting 4 1/3, giving up the 4 earned runs. And now it's time for the Jiffy Lube pitching change, brought to you by Jiffy Lube, where participating stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube inspect your brakes today. Well, Brian Mattis out of the Orioles pen. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 51% of the time. Big breaking ball 29%. And then that changeup is getting better and better 20% of the time. Has to have the good mix. He wants to have success. See that earned run average at 8.31. Have to get that down here. Put a couple zeros up in the middle of this ball game.
So Brian Mattis will work to the left-hander Kyle Seager. Runners at first and third. Seager first ball hitting. Manish over, and not enough room to put it away. Brian with the left-handers hitting 200, right-handers 385, as you saw. Seager's had some luck against him, having gone 3 for 9 against the Oriole left-hander. 4-0 lead, 4 runs on 5 hits. And obviously another big moment here. Jimenez sometimes has strange lines in games, and this was one of them. First inning, got in trouble, couple of walks, couple of hits, then controlled the game, and then here in the 5th it all unraveled. 0-1 delivery by Mattis, swing and a miss. Pitch down and away, 0-2.
Yeah, great breaking ball right there from Brian Mattis, sweeping across the plate and staying on there long enough to get Seager make an attempt, and right at the end enough finish down and away to get him.
0-2 count. If ever there was a game Brian Mattis was meant to come into, this is it. A left-handed lineup. Oops, in the air to right field. That is way back at the wall and up, and goodbye home run. Seager delivers the long ball, a 3-run homer off Brian Mattis, lefty or not, and it is a 7-0 lead.
Now, Kyle Seager has been red hot here in the month of May, and he doesn't miss many mistakes. 0-2 pitch here. Is that a mistake? Pretty much center cut, belt high. And he got enough of it to get it out over the 373 sign. Joey Rickard with a nice effort. Coming up just a little short.
A big blast for Seager. Well, that clears the bases. The 3rd home run Seager has against the Orioles, and all 3 have been hit in this ballpark. And the hope for bringing the lefty in against lefty does not work. And here is Lind, and a swing and a miss on it. 386 feet on the home run picked up by Kyle Seager. Lind, 0-1 count, 1 down. 7 runs on 6 hits now for Seattle. Lind, he's gone 4 for 14 against lefties with a home run. One ball, 1 strike delivery, and that'll be fouled off outside of first. Well, as we said, you've got 2 teams matching up here who use the long ball for a large percentage of the runs they score. The Orioles, 54% of their runs have come on home runs, and Scott Service's ball club, coming in with 50 home runs, was ranked 3rd in the American League in homers. The Orioles on top. Breaking ball will bounce back into the screen, 2-2.
Yeah, Seattle's team really does a lot of things very well. We've talked about their inconsistencies, though, when their offense isn't quite there or their pitching isn't there. They struggle just like a lot of other teams. But they've gotten on a nice little roll, and everybody really playing together. And we've seen this offense, how it kind of uses the whole field, and then boom, Seager home run there. But even the boppers like Cano went the other way early in the game. Cruz went the other way early in the ball game. It's kind of setting the stage for the heart of this game here in the middle of the game. An opportunity to break it open just when you think they're going to start going the other way. Boom, turn and burn, and 7-0.
3 RBIs Seager, 3 RBIs for Cruz, RBI Cano. Ooh, look out. Ripped into the seats. Gal will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Brian Mattis greeted with a long ball. That's the first home run by a left-hander off Brian this year. 2-2 delivery, and that's going to miss down low, and the count goes to 3-2. These two bullpens have also been an exceptional part of both of these teams. The Orioles bullpen, they are first in ERA. The Mariners bullpen fourth. 3-2 pitch taken, and he is on with a walk. This is not a pleasant night for the Orioles. So the inning goes on. There's still patience. In Seattle with a big lead. They're willing to watch pitches here and continued to do so. Chris Iannetta coming up, only one away. Martin, the leadoff batter, grounded out since then. 6 batters have reached. Iannetta flied to right. Fine play made by Rickard his last time up. That one is going to be down low and a 1-0 count.
Well, you can never really count this Orioles offense out of a ball game, but you definitely don't want it to get too out of control. 7-0 in the middle of the ball game. Brian's got to make the stop now and then hope that the Orioles offense can start picking away.
Saw light rain coming down again, as it has been all day. Chris Iannetta, University of North Carolina. 3 fine years of college ball there. Last year played with the Angels. 92 games with them. 1-1 delivery. That'll be foul back and out of play. So Iannetta with a 1-ball 2-strike count. He was signed as a free agent out of Providence, Rhode Island, where he was born and raised. 1-2. Marte waiting on deck. No lead at first for Lynn, and Brian Mattis's pitch will miss inside. 2-2. Six of the runs charged to Ubaldo Jimenez. 6 runs, 5 hits in 4 1/3 innings. And that last run, Seager home run to Mattis. In the air to right field, another tough one down the line. Rickard going over in the corner, jumps up and makes the catch. What a play! 2 times he has done that to Iannetta. That one double the difficulty as Joey Rickard disappeared into the corner up against the wall and hauled it in.
Wow. Great concentration, great effort here. A long inning. Get him get the right foot up on the wall. This is reckless abandon right here. I mean, really selling out for this huge out, helping Brian Mattis. And then the crash and burn at the end, but coming down with the second out. Beautiful play by Rickard. And the runner still at first base.
Big play. Keep that in mind as we move along. That would have been for extra bases, and the fans recognizing some outstanding work in right field. Now runner on at first base, and there are 2 down. Ketel Marte, the 9th Mariner to hit. He has grounded out twice. Marte, switch hitter. And a swing and a foul tip. Marte hitting .280 right-handed, .281 left. Can't get much closer than that. He's had 1 home run hit from the left side. Or 7 rather, I'm sorry, from the left. 7 RBIs from the left side, 6 from the right. Fouls that one back. So Mattis trying to get the final out here. 1-ball 2-strike count. Big inning. Crooked number up there, the 5. 1 walk, a part of the inning. 2 of the walks surrendered by Ubaldo Jimenez scored in the game. One-two delivery. Reached for it. Machado will go to second. Scope there, force out. So a 5-run inning highlighted by the Seager 3-run homer. More could have been had, but for a great play by Joey Rickard, that recorded the Iannetta second out of the inning. Seattle on brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Singing and dancing in the rain. Light showers continuing here at the ballpark, and hopefully that's all it will be. Wade Miley staked to a 7-0 lead. Wieters, Scope, and Reimold. Wieters flied out to center field. First time up, and will take the pitch. Miley has 2 walks, no strikeouts. Pitch will be in there for a strike. Ball may get a little bit slick here, and it is cool. It's only 55 degrees at the ballpark when we started the ball game. 1-1 delivery will be taken down low. And according to our handy dandy hang on the wall thermometer, or the one on the phone, it's still 55. 2-1 delivery. Easy pitch, easy swing. 2-2.
Yeah, taking some off that breaking ball. Just 77 miles an hour. He's throwing the harder sliders in, make it look like a fastball out of the hand, but that real slow.
That one to right center field. Martin giving chase and off the top of the wall. Gonna go for 2. Nope. Backs up the first. Throw over by Cano. Not in time. And there's the Orioles' first hit. Matt Wieters leading off the 5th inning. It's a base hit.
A nice piece of hitting there by Matt Wieters.
Take a look at our Yellowwood. Bringing the lumber.
Well, Matt Wieters getting on a breaking ball. This one not in the dirt, but hanging up over the plate. Look at this right-handed swing. Driving it deep off the wall.
So the Orioles get a man on against Miley. The pitch will be taken for a strike by Scope, who grounded out his first time up. Miley over the top as hard and down and away as he could get it, at an 0-2 count. So the Orioles try and mount a rally here in the 5th inning, start chipping away at the lead. They've got plenty of at-bats left to go if they can get something off Miley. 0-2 delivery, swing and a miss, tailed that one. Good pitch.
A real good 2-seam movement there. Has a natural cut on his 4-seamer. We've seen some real good pitches on the inside corner against the right-handers. Not a lot of pitches on the outside corner for strikes. Look at the 2-seamer work itself away. Jonathan Scope just out on the outside edge, right off the barrel.
Reimold lined out to short his first time up. Will take the pitch for a strike. Another East action. The Yankees going to play at Arizona tonight. Pineda 1-4 against Zach Greinke 3-3. Yankees struggling on the road. Ball in the air to right field. Seth Smith, runner halfway. And there are 2 down. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the Be More for Healthy Babies. 114 walks, $5,700. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Yankees on the road now have lost 10 of their last dozen games. They're hitting .213 on the road over their 12-game span. And they're averaging only 2.5 runs a ball game. And they are in last place in the American League East. Paul Yanish grounded out his first time up. Wieters on at first, so the Orioles get their first hit, and Miley immediately gets his first strikeout. 0-1 delivery by the left-hander will be fouled back and out of play.
Well, looks like he's being a little bit more aggressive with the fastball here, even though a couple breaking balls to Wieters. Gets whistled off the wall, and now going right to the heater to get ahead.
0-2 delivery, and that will be taken away. Miley has pitched a complete game this season. Obviously, there aren't many of those to go around. That one in the air to center, not deep. Handled easily by Martin. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. 7-0 Seattle. In 96, Chris Hoyles, a walk-off grand slam against whom? The Mariners. The Orioles trailed 13-10 in the bottom of the 9th. That grand slam brought him back for the win. And in 1945, we talk about rain and postponements and delays. On this date in 1945, every American League game was rained out for the 4th consecutive day. I think that was the year of the Ark. I'm not sure. It certainly sounds like it. Leonis Martin, and he will take the pitch. He grounded out to start the 5th inning. Now he leads off the 6th. In that year, I was looking to see the teams that were involved in 1945 in the American League. It was the Tigers, Senators, St. Louis Browns, Yankees, Indians, White Sox, Red Sox, and Philadelphia A's. So St. Louis was the team furthest west in 45 in the league. 1-1 delivery will be foul back. 1-2. Brian Madison in relief of Jimenez as we play in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, you know Brian's going to have to record some outs here. Somebody's got to bite the bullet. Don't want to use up too many arms for the first game of this series. Buck Showalter probably making that move, pulling Ubaldo with 4 1/3, because thinking that the bullpen was fresh. He was hoping Brian Madison to come in and slam the door, get out of that inning, keep it close, maybe eat up a few more innings. And now it's just a matter, got to start thinking of saving arms in the bullpen.
Yeah, that home run changed everything, didn't it? Seager getting that 3-run shot. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Martin, then Aoki at the top of the order. He fouls that one off. Hitting only a .133 off lefties. Martin is 4 for 30. One of the hits a home run.
I was talking with hitting coach Scott Coolbaugh earlier today about lefties facing lefties, and obviously the key, you see a lot of lefties that don't have the success. He says typically the front shoulder, front side.
Underneath the glove of Davis. Rickard can't find it, gets it in time to hold the runner.
Helping him out there, talking about the front side pulling off on the lefties, but if you throw an inside pitch and he pulls off, he can square it up. He squares this one up, and it's one of those worm burners. Hits the dirt, stays down on Davis. He's anticipating it bouncing up. Picks up the base hit.
So that'll put a runner on at first. And the single. And Aoki coming up. He's got a base hit, is struck out and flied out. And we'll take the pitch down low for a ball. He's hitting only 196 off left-handers. That's why we said when Brian Mattis came in, we got a left-handed lineup for Seattle that's not hitting well against left-handers, so it seemed like the perfect setting, and still might be, but that pitch, Seager and the home run just changed all that. 1-0 slapped to short. Manny Machado, Jonathan Scope in a hurry. Nice pick, and they get the double play. Good work all the way around on that one.
Well, Aoki, it's going to be a tough one to double up. Hits it hard enough. Machado, quick release to Scope, and then the cannon is let loose, and who else? Chris Davis making the great pick on the end. Clean up that double play. Look at the concentration there by Davis. Picking it cleanly.
So 2 down. Smith coming up. Smith has made the Orioles pitchers pay for the walks. Drew a walk off Jimenez in the 1st inning and scored. Drew a walk off Jimenez in the 5th inning and scored. Now 2 down, nobody on. Shift in effect. And the pitch will be taken outside. And Smith gets an opportunity here with the bases empty. He's had only 8 at-bats against left-handers, 1 for 8. Brian Mattis, the 1-0 delivery, and that will be there for his strike. Light rain still falling, so any ball hit infield will be slowed down on the ground and the outfield and kind of wet to handle. That is there for a strike. 1-2 on Smith. It's the way it's been here for the last couple of innings.
A couple of months, really.
Okay. Couple of months. We're talking to people from Seattle. I said to somebody, welcome to Seattle. They said, oh no, we've had a great spring. All sun, no rain. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that'll miss down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We will be right back with you tomorrow night. Game 2. Chris Tillman, John Walker. 6:30 goes extra. 7 o'clock for the ball game. Masson 2. Tried to go the other way and fouls it off the other way. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
A nice breaking ball there from Brian Mattis. Why not go right back out there on the outside edge? Hitters are going to protect a little bit with 2 strikes. Maybe the plate's getting a little bit bigger now that it's 7-0. Trying to get him to expand a little bit on that outside edge.
2-2 delivery by Mattis, and that will miss. So the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the 7th pitch of this at bat. Alfredo Simon, former Oriole, 1-3 record, ERA 8.5, started for the Reds against Cleveland tonight. Cleveland's leading 13-1. 3-2 delivery, ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. That's just a little slap shot. Lay the bat on the ball and go up the middle. Smith's got himself a base hit. He's on for the 3rd time in 4 plate appearances.
Well, you're exactly right. You get to a 3-2 count. You do what you can. Put the bat on the ball. Good things happen. They did right there for Smith.
That will be hit number 8 for Seattle, and that gets Brian Mattis into the middle of this order again. Cano coming up. Double in the 1st inning, scored, flied out, then had an RBI base hit and scored in the 5th inning. Cano fouls it off. How about his numbers against Brian Mattis? A .324 career average with 2 home runs. He is 11 for 34 against the Oriole left-hander.
Yeah, well, Cano's got those numbers, I think, against most of the Orioles pitchers. He's done some serious damage, especially here at Camden Yards.
Yep. 0-1 count with 2 down. And that's going to go to the gap in left center field. Some more damage. Smith was off and running. He'll come to 3rd and will be waved home. Adam Jones will get it into the cutoff man. There's no play at the plate. So Cano will pick up his 2nd double of the game, also his 2nd RBI. And Seattle extends the lead to 8-0. Boy, Cano, a 3-hit ball game.
And this is what it's about, not giving up at bats. Look at that concentration. No head movement at all, staying through the baseball. Anything in a blowout game here? You might see guys trying to go deep, a lot of high pop-ups. That's what a hitter does. Driving the ball the other way, stays within himself. Pretty impressive approach there.
Best average for Cano of any ballpark he's played in is right here. Pitch will be taken for a ball inside. Here's Cruz. He's had a 3 RBI game, 2 singles and a walk. Cruz has reached base now in 22 straight games played here at Camden Yards. It is the longest active streak going. That is foul back up into the deck. So you get these 2 guys in the middle of the order, Cano and Cruz, in this ballpark, you got a problem. And then you got their hottest hitter after that, Seager.
Yeah. Yeah, you really have to be careful with the heart of this order, especially as how hot they are. You talked about their numbers on the road, and the numbers here at Camden Yards especially.
Cruz, 1 ball, 1 strike count. There are 2 down. Nelson on a check swing around. Home plate umpire Jerry Davis will make that call. So 1 ball, 2 strike count. Cruz against Mattis, 6 for 11 with a home run. Almost the exact same numbers he had against Ubaldo. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Takes that one to left field, going back at the wall, and goodbye home run. What an onslaught by Seattle. Nelson Cruz delivers a 2 RBI homer. And Seattle takes a 10-0 lead. His 8th home run.
And he continues to stay hot, not only here at Camden Yards, but on the road as well. Take a look at the elevated pitch. Wieters setting up down and away. Boy, just give him too much of a chance up there. And he covers that baseball.
Well, Seattle coming in off that 3-game losing streak, pounding away. Here's Seager. He had a 3 RBI homer, his 8th. His last time up, the big blow. Cruz now with 8 home runs. It's a 5 RBI game for Nelson Cruz. That's 26 RBIs on the year. Down to first base, played by Davis. He'll go to the bag. And a little Bronx cheer at Camden Yards. Take a look at our Chevy do-ups. Joey Rickard, Machado, and Jones when we come back. Seattle on top. Look here, there's the bird here at Camden Yards, and then on my back porch in Maine. Wow. We don't see many Orioles that come in Maine. This past week, though, this one with the orange set out on the back porch showed up. Beautiful. The male usually has the more color, so probably a male Oriole. There just aren't that many around the Northeast anymore, but there it was sitting on the back porch.
Wow, that was a beautiful bird. Incredible colors right there.
Yeah. Apparently orange is attractive to Orioles.
Yeah.
That was beautiful colors, though. Just gorgeous. Well, Wade Miley staked here to a 10-0 lead. Mariners have 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors, 4 left on base. Punched in the air, deep right field. Going back, warning track, reaching up, and a nice running catch by Seth Smith.
Seth Smith, couple nice running plays out there in right field. Not the best routes, but still coming down with the out. Kind of making the U-turn, chasing down this ball from Joey Rickard. But look at the concentration there, over the shoulder play. Really nice concentration.
One down, bottom of the 6th inning. Manny Machado has popped out twice to Robinson Cano. There can be some excitement with the Seattle outfield. We saw Smith running a route that was a bit circuitous there, but Aoki can do that in left field too.
Yeah.
Aoki likes to meander around. And that's not a negative on him. He catches balls, he gets it done. But when he chases balls out there, you'll see him run some routes that are less than direct. Pitch is taken down low, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Manny Machado. Opening game of the 3-game set, and it's been all Seattle. The 10 runs on 10 hits. The Orioles have 1 hit, and that was the Wieters single leading off the 5th. Solid hit deep center field. Vance Worley up in the bullpen for the Orioles. 2-1 delivery by Miley away. Chris Tillman tomorrow night. Tyler Wilson will go in the day game, 12:30 game on Thursday. Nathan Carnes scheduled to go against him, so Worley now out of the pen, available. There is Tillman in the middle. 3-1 delivery on the way and walking. Miley not real happy about doing that. That's his third walk.
Yeah, he was being careful with Manny. That's for sure.
Well, the Orioles get a man on, one down for Adam Jones. Miley starts this year. He's had 3 games in which he hasn't walked any. The high was 4. That came against Cleveland. You said Miley tied for 6th, 1.8 walks per 9 innings, 6th best number in the American League. Team is 5-2 in the 7 starts he's made. Adam Jones foul tips that one into the mitt. He is 0 for 2. Our Jeep inside the numbers.
Now, most career home runs with the O's after beginning a career with another team. There's Adam Jones, 198 home runs with the Orioles. He hit 3 with Seattle, the team that signed him. He played 73 games there. You see Palmeiro with the Cubs. Anderson was with the Red Sox before he hit his 209. Singleton, he started out with Seattle, and then or the Mets, excuse me, and then Frank Robinson, Cincinnati.
Pitch will be taken away by Adam, trying to keep a hit streak alive. It's at 8 games right now. He is 2 for 8 with a home run off Miley. Orioles, a lot of base runners, and that's not going to be one of them. Something about Robinson Cano. Ball's coming towards him, but he's called off by Smith. And look at Cano. Cano's standing there with his hands on his hips like, what are you doing? He ran by him in order to make the catch.
Wow. Look at Cano's face there. He was about to give him his glove. Now Smith all over the place. I think he's pretty happy with a couple of those plays he's made out there. And he says, I got this with Robinson. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Right on by.
Yeah. And then as he's on the infield dirt, so him put the glove over his face. A little embarrassed right there.
2 down. Here's Chris Davis. Chris will walk in. He is grounded out and will take the off-speed breaking ball away. Shift on. Runner on to first base, down the line. That's going to be a base hit into the corner. Smith going after it. Manny Machado at third. Bobby Dickerson will hold him as the relay comes in. It will be a double. Second hit for the Orioles. Chris Davis gets it and moves Machado over to third.
Chris Davis sneaking one down that right field line. Breaking ball. Gets that foot down and the bat head to it. Nice swing by Davis. It's hooking down there. He keeps it fair. Double, and the Orioles threatening.
So the Orioles get a chance. Their first since the first inning. They got a couple of walks in the first. Had runners at first and third. Could not score against Miley. Now they've got runners at second and third, and Trumbo is grounded out and flied out. Mark Trumbo, see if he can get him in. 263 for him, runners in scoring position, and will take the pitch inside and low for a ball. Well, the Orioles with a couple of hits, now trying to get out of the shutout. Miley's pitch to him in the air. Right side. Is it Smith again? Cano, Smith. No, it's always Seth Smith. He puts it away. The Orioles cannot convert. No runs. 1 hit, 2 left.
Game set against the Mariners. Iannetta driving one down the right field line, and there's Joey Rickard coming out of nowhere. How about Seager getting into a pitch from Mattis? Is Rickard coming down with this one just out of his reach? But Rickard staying busy in right field, taking one away from Iannetta again, up against the wall. The crowd really appreciating the effort by Rickard. It was 7-0 there on that play. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Joey Rickard playing some fine right field for the Orioles. And now Vance Worley coming in out of the Orioles bullpen. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 64% of the time. Now it's from that crossbody delivery. Very tough to pick up. A lot of deception in his delivery, and pitching very well for the Orioles out of the pen.
Worley in his first delivery will miss for a ball. Adam Lind, a lot of at-bats here. And we'll get their bullpen going. Now Nuno up in the bullpen, the left-hander. Lind watches a fastball in there for his strike. Adam Lind 1-1, a walk, ground ball out, strikeout. Has not extended the 4-game hit streak that he had coming in. And that one will be fouled back. Ryan Mattis out of there, charged with the 4 runs on 5 hits, a walk and no strikeouts, and 2 of the long balls. Seager's 3-run homer, and Cruz with his 2 RBI homer. 1-2 delivery is foul back. The 5 RBI day by Cruz is a season high. It is not a career high. Nelson has had as many as 8 RBIs. He has done that a couple of times. And he'll have another shot at it probably in this game, at least come to the plate. 1-2 delivery on the way is their first strike. Worley starts it out with the K.
Well, Lynn not liking the call there, but beautiful backdoor slider here, picking up the edge, maybe a little off the plate, and Wieters receiving it very well, kind of drawing it back into his body and onto the plate. Oh yeah, strike 3.
Iannetta's flied out twice. You saw the fine play made by Rickard on the last fly ball. A real good play on the fly ball before that in the 4th inning. He has also struck out 0 for 3. Iannetta tries it again. This time it's a much easier play. Rickard there to put it away, and there are 2 down. Well, caption this. Check out at Masson Orioles on Instagram and provide your best caption for this photo. 3 commenters will win a meet and greet with Chris Davis. Watch every O's game with us. The Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill. Hang local. Marte 0 for 3. Bottom 3rd of the order. They've been on base once. Martin with a single. Top of the order. They've been on base every time they've been up, it seems like. Pitch will be taken away. Just look at Nelson Cruz, his career high RBI games, 8 RBIs twice, both against Toronto when he was with Texas in May of 2012 and July of 2011. He had a 4 for 4 with a home run in one game and a 4 for 5 in the home run in the other, and had 8 RBIs in each of those games against the Rangers in Toronto.
Wow. Nelson's done some damage in his career to a lot of teams.
Ground ball down to first base. That'll be handled by Davis. So Worley comes on, retires the side in order. 7th inning stretch time here at Camden Yards. Seattle's got the lead 10-0. 2-0 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning coming up. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick. One of those nights where it's kind of a unusual scorecard here. A couple of runs first inning Seattle, and then that 5th and 6th inning, Ubaldo just could not hold it down, and Brian Mattis couldn't hold it where it was.
Yeah, it was almost like who's going to cross plate first. Both pitchers started off rough. Unfortunately, Ubaldo gave up a couple. Orioles weren't able to capitalize on Miley's slow start, and Miley settled in. Ubaldo actually settled in a little bit as well, but then knocked out of the game after 4 1/3. Just some inconsistencies there. A couple good innings, a couple bad innings. And it seems like that's how it's kind of gone for Ubaldo this year. But, you know, the Orioles really have to prove to these Mariners that they can make an impact. So nice, strong showing here at the end of this ball game. They put a couple marks on the board. Who knows what can happen in baseball?
Yeah, and the offense really held down, but they get Miley out of there.
Yeah, that's the good news. And now Nuno in out of the pen. But look at his earned run average, 169. A control pitcher. Get around, well traveled left-hander, holding opponents to that 262 batting average. 73% of his outs up in the air. In command of all of his pitches.
Check swing is going to be fouled back, and for Miley, a chance to win it.
Boy, did he settle in. Rough first inning, had a couple walks, but then ending up with just the 2 hits given up. 6 strong innings, only 97 pitches to get through.
Looking for his 4th win in his first against the Orioles. Came in 0-2 with an ERA over 10 against the O's. How about that one-handed swing? Matt Wieters will be retired when after a pitch that was just down and in on him. And Matt, who got the Orioles' first hit in the 5th inning, will ground out here in the bottom half of the 7th against Nuno. Nuno out of National City, California. And he is 28 years old. Left-hander who last year pitched with both Arizona and Seattle. 32 games with the Mariners, went 1-4 with an ERA a bit over 4. Into the shift, Robinson Cano. Scope retired. 2 down. On Sunday, June 5, don't miss the season's next Kids Run the Bases event after the Yankee game, and on every Sunday home game, kids 14 and under get to run the bases after the ball game. So make a day of it here at the Yard. Get your tickets and info at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. And the pitch taken for a strike. Reimold has lined out and flied out. Miley gave up 3 walks. Orioles got a runner to third in the first inning, and the only runner who's been to third. That was the leadoff walk to Rickard, who ended up moving up to third on a wild pitch. Miley didn't give up a hit till that single by Wieters in the 5th. Davis got the double in the 6th. And offensively, that has been it for the Orioles. Reimold will take the pitch down low. Nolan hitting .308 against left-handers. Cano right behind second base. Pitch will be up high from Nuno. And that's going to be right there. Catches the inside corner. So the Orioles are retired in order. Remains a 10-0 Seattle lead. Astros action. Game 2 of the 3-game set. Chris Tillman will be on the mound against Juwan Walker. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with O's Extra, presented by Southwest, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Well, let's take a look at tomorrow's starters. Walker for the Mariners off to a great start. 2.63 earned run average. 38 punch-outs, only the 6 walks. Well, Tillman's off to a sensational start himself. 5 wins, 2.58 earned run average with the punch-outs. 47 punch-outs for Tillman, just the 18 walks. Velocity's up. The slider's been a huge pitch. The changeup's been there for Tillman. It'll be fun to watch the matchup tomorrow.
Caleb Joseph has come on to do the catching. Matt Wieters had started. Don't believe there's anything wrong with Matt. Swing and a foul ball. Leonis Martin, a base hit. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Cruz, a 5 RBI game. Cano has had a couple of RBIs. Seager's had a 3-run homer. He and Cruz, the 2 home runs for Seattle. Down the line, third base, Giannis over, may have room. Tough play. Makes a nice catch. Paul Giannis finds it and puts it away.
A real nice play there by Giannis. Earlier in the ball game, ran out of some room. Took a quick glance down, and next thing you know, there's the wall, but the glove and the ball find each other. Beautiful play there. Almost ends up in the seats for a couple helpful fans.
That was.
Boom.
Ooh. Directly head first. So Giannis, a nice play to help Worley. That one ripped down the line. Is going to be a foul ball. Aoki up, single and a run scored. He is 1 for 4 in the ball game. Aoki here in this ballpark now has got 7 hits and 19 at bats in the games played at Camden Yards, and overall he's hitting over 350 in his career against the Orioles. Norichika Aoki, 0-1 count. Popped it up. Joseph. Get an angle, get rid of the mask, and make the catch. Follow Orioles baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment. Game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, and more. You can download it. MLB.com at bat, #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Scotty McGregor doing the work as the pitching coach in the dugout for the Orioles here over the weekend and tonight. Dave Wallace will be back at home for family matters. Seth Smith at the plate. Couple of walks, single, 3 runs scored in the ball game. Both times he walked, he scored. The only time he didn't get on a strikeout back in the 3rd inning.
He's all over the place defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere out there.
0-1. Left center field. Reimold. And he's got it. Good job by Worley. He retires the side in order. Orioles 9-1-2 coming up. You think of immediately. Sometimes we go to terms used in baseball. I had never seen this term used in baseball until I was reading a story in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and then I went and I looked, and it had been used a number of times by other writers. The line said the Angels' uber star, referring to Trout, brushed the top of his glove. Uber means the ultimate, above all, the best, the top, something that nothing else is better than. The German word Uber, that's from the Urban Dictionary. Now being used rather frequently, referring to star players, top players, as the Uber player. I never heard that.
Well, I used to play a video game with my kids.
Yeah.
And it was a snowboarding game.
Yeah.
And you used to get to a certain point and you get this super Uber. You become the greatest snowboarder in the game.
Super Uber.
Super Uber. So
maybe that's where that comes from. Nice running catch made. Martin coming on to put that one away. Giannis is retired. Sean O'Malley has come on. Cano is out of the ball game for Seattle. Orioles won't be unhappy about that, since he had 2 doubles, a singles, 3 runs scored, and 2 RBIs.
Yeah.
Super Uber.
Yeah.
Very good. I mean, Uber is a term we hear now, of course, with the car thing, but I didn't realize it had gotten into sports. Maybe it came out of that video game. It may have.
Never know. Never know.
0-1 counts, so you may see Uber player talked and written about. Breaking ball is going to be in there. Rickard has drawn a walk. He has flied out to right field twice. A scant score sheet on the Orioles side. Not much there, but outs. They have picked up 2 hits in the ball game. Wieters single, double by Davis, both coming off Miley, the starter.
Yeah, not a lot of baton passing in this game.
That'll go to short. Bobbled into his hand. Oh my. Marte makes the play. 2 down.
Look at the concentration here. Ball kicks up. You talk about keeping your composure, not rushing. I mean, very at ease right there. There was no panic at all coming out of Marte. And a lot of times you'll see players rush a little bit, maybe launch that ball after they get it in the hand into the stands, but kept himself composed there.
2 away. Manny Machado. Manny's got an 0 for 2 and a walk in the ball game. Seattle bullpen and the sweep by the Angels over the weekend was the big problem. It had not been all year, and right now it's not in this game. Ooh. Apparently O'Malley was not watching the game. He went out and caught that ball in front of Seth Smith, the right fielder. Ball on Bassett is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by University of Maryland, University College. Well, the Mariners have a 10-0 lead, and the Orioles are going to rest some folks here. Kim will come on to play in left field. Rickert moves to center from right, and Raimel moves from left to right. And the Mariners will bat here in the 9th inning, leading 10-0. Third base, Alvarez has come on to play at third. Giannis has moved from third to short. Flaherty's playing first, Davis out. Caleb Joseph is already in there doing the catching and pays for it with a foul ball right off the mask.
Yeah, right between the eyes there. Nice little cutter from Worley. Works in on the hands. Take a look at O'Malley pulling the hands in tight, but squaring Caleb up with the foul ball right between the eyes.
Worley's 0-2 delivery will be swung on a miss, and O'Malley, getting his first at bat in the Cano slot, is a strikeout victim. Worley has his second K.
Yeah, being very aggressive in the zone, ball moving all over the place. This one, I think he wants to cut it back in underneath the hands, and it actually works the other way. Still great movement, though.
Franklin Gutierrez is going to come on to pinch hit for Cruz as the DH. Gutierrez will take the pitch for a strike. Nelson Cruz, a big night. 5 RBIs, 8th home run. Couple of singles, 2 runs scored. 0-1 count. Gutierrez will be backed off the plate. Takes it inside. Former Orioles Steve Johnson warming up in the bullpen. Gutierrez with a 1-1 delivery from Worley, and that will be there for a strike. Had a 5 for 20 during the homestand, playing in a regular. Franklin Gutierrez has not had a hit in his last 8 at bats. 1-2 delivery to him, and that's going to be down low. Worley on, 3rd inning of work. Jimenez, the pitcher of record, 6 runs, 5 hits, 4 in the 3rd inning, shortest outing of the year. Ryan Mattis, 4 runs, 5 hits, an inning and 2/3. That'll go to second. Jonathan Scope up, makes the play over to Flaherty. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. The boy in the bubble. Kyle Seager, 3-run homer, 5th inning, his 8th of the year, the one that really blew the doors open for Seattle. Got it off Ryan Mattis, and will take it for a strike. So Seager remains hot in their lineup. Worley with 2 down. Nobody on, top of the 9th inning. Towards left, that's going to fall in. That'll be a base hit. No, Seager's got a couple of hits, 2 for 4, and a walk in the game. Visit MASNsports.com. Care First to vote for tonight's Care First Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield. As you can see from that, the rain is what stopped here, that drizzle. 2 away. Adam Lynn coming up. Lynn, a couple of strikeouts. He's walked and he is grounded out. Seattle's going to get out of their 3-game losing streak in this first game against the Orioles this season. Tampa Bay is routing Toronto 10-2 in the 7th inning. Bautista's had a home run for Toronto. Miller's gone 3 for 5, 3 RBIs in the ball game. Stroman took the big hit. Toronto's starter gave up 7 runs on 13 hits in 5 2/3 innings. Yikes.
Yeah, that was supposed to be touted as a pretty good pitching duel, right?
Archer
and Stroman going head to head.
Yep. Towards the middle, diving, base hit. Seager will stop. Rickard will get it back in. So Lind joins the hit parade with a single. Archer, a couple of runs on 4 hits in 6 innings for Chris Archer in that game. Boy, it's a big night for runs. Tampa's got a 10-2. Cleveland won 13-1. in their ball game. Detroit's got a 7-2 over Minnesota. Lord, what are they going to do with the Twins? Good heavens. Night after night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Here's Chris Iannetta. Iannetta has struck out and flied out 3 times to right. If he continues the night, he needs to fly out to center field, because Joey Rickards moved from right to center.
Challenge him out there. A little more room to run around in.
Pittsburgh's beating Atlanta 11-6. Nope, he went to right field. I don't think he knew Rickard had moved. Reimold is over there and he will put it away. That's 4 consecutive fly ball outs to right field by Iannetta. Couple left on. Orioles coming up in the ninth. On this one, and how it got away in the middle innings, 5th and 6th. And former Orioles Steve Johnson on the mound.
Yeah, welcome home, Steve. Steve's been around a little bit. Orioles non-tendered him. Texas picked him up. Seattle lands him, and just recently called up beginning of May due to an injury. And he's been pitching very well for the Mariners. 4 games of 1.80 earned run average. That invisible fastball that he throws up there, high 80s, low 90s. A real slow curve, slider, and change to go along with it. You see very good numbers. Opponent's hitting just 118 in his 4 appearances for the Mariners.
So the Orioles will bat here in the bottom of the 9th inning, trying to push a run across. Miley will be the winner. He'll be 4-2. The Baltimore Menace will take the loss, 2-4. For Miley, it'll be his first win against the Orioles. He will be 1-2. Miley came in this his 5th career start with an 0-2 record against the Orioles. Young-Soo Kim will lead it off. He's batting in the 3 spot in the lineup. Kim, Alvarez, and Trumbo will be due up. Johnson's delivered to him, and that'll be taken inside for a ball. Kim, appearing in his 11th game, has had only 27 at bats, but he's got 11 hits, 2 RBIs. We'll foul that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Nuno, a couple of innings, 1 strikeout. Retired, 6 batters faced. 1-1 delivery, and that is there for a strike. So the Orioles will look for a bounce-back game tomorrow. Chris Tillman, Juwan Walker will be the scheduled starters. 6:30 goes extra. 7 o'clock. Masson 2. O'Malley skips away. Lynn could not handle it. Kim is on.
O'Malley, nice little play to get to the ball, but then Lynn just kind of lazy on the pick. Just got to step out there, maybe reach out another foot and catch it in the air, but Tries to do the casual short hop, and that one skips away for an error.
Now Pedro Alvarez, he'll get his first at bat. Ball is going to be popped back and out of play. Alvarez in for Chris Davis. Chris had a double, a walk, and a ground ball out. Kim with Lynn with a left-hander up, first baseman playing behind him. Shift is on. Alvarez 65 on the changeup.
Yeah. The eephus curveball, he can really slow it down and helps the fastball play up. You wonder why Steve Johnson's fastball might not get hit. He gets a lot of rotation on the fastball, and it kind of rises through the zone.
Lynn, whoops, I found it. There's one. That's all they'll get. I'm not sure he was sure he had that ball. He flashed the leather on it, and there it was. Fielder's choice.
He got in between here and just puts the big glove down there. Next thing you know, it's in the glove. They're able to get the force at second base.
Did he touch second base?
But even that's questionable.
Buck Showalter's having the video look at it, holding up play for a moment. Came off that bag pretty quick, Marte.
Yeah, I don't think his foot was ever on there.
No.
I think he was lazy with the foot, actually taking it off the base before he caught it. Trying to be too quick on that double play ball. You got to be aware of the situation, the time of the ground ball, how long it takes to get to the first baseman. Tough to tell. He might have drug it across the top, but certainly tough to tell. Oh no, I don't know. I think he lifted it off.
And they're going to challenge. Jerry Davis asking Mark Trumbo, where's the headsets? And Mark pointed over to the visiting dugout. Jerry had another game here this year, and he wasn't sure where the connection, the headsets were to go back to New York with, so Mark told him.
Oh. Now you really have to make sure with all the replays, man, you got to keep that foot on there. It's a little too quick leaving the base. A lot of pressure on players nowadays just to make sure. It wasn't too long ago where that was just a routine double play and not even questioned, and even tags.
Nope.
You know, put the tag down to avoid getting a spike in the arm or something like that.
Yep.
Might not necessarily have to touch him, just be in the neighborhood. It's all changed.
You have to sustain the tag. You have to stay on the base.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly looks like he was not on the bag when he had possession of the baseball. Jerry Davis, home plate umpire, is the crew chief. So you have the crew chief and the umpire who made the call who come in to talk to New York. Carlos Torres at second base, the umpire. There, he's got the ball. His foot did not have the bag. It's Marte, the shortstop.
And typically you'll see shortstops when they come across, their foot's on the dirt behind the base, and then they drag the foot across the base, not actually lift it up. And it appeared that he kind of lifted his foot up off the base.
Yeah. Out. A light rain. Score is 10-0. Ninth inning. Out.
You know, I don't know. It's one of those situations. Yeah, we say, well, yeah, he's got to be out. It's 10-0. But my gosh, if they're going to have the replays, you better stick with it. I mean, it seemed like his foot was off the base.
I think the call on that will have to be that the replay was inconclusive.
Yeah. The spike might have been. Spike could have been on the top of the base. Can't tell. So that's the decision they made right there. Jeez.
No, well, that's you can see why he's shaking his head. Mark Trumbo, and that'll be down the line in left field and will be fouled. So 1 out on at first base. Alvarez, fielder's choice. Trumbo, who is 0 for 3. 14,477 making their feelings known. 14,477 for game 1 of this 3-game set. 0-2 delivery. Johnson's pitch will be fouled down the line in right. And the count on Trumbo will stay at 0-2.
And not an easy situation for Steve Johnson to come into. Pitching with this much of a lead, you looked at as being non-competitive if you don't challenge hitters. Keep throwing strikes, which he's doing. Moving his fastball in and out.
Trumbo trying to send one out of here. Keeps the count at 0-2. Seattle's going to be 6-2 against the East. They have a 2-1 record against the Yankees. 3-0 against Tampa Bay. And now playing the Orioles. Here's the 0-2 delivery by Johnson. Trumbo takes. And it will miss just a little bit outside. So Steve takes it to a 1-ball, 2-strike count. You're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Seattle trying to wrap this up. Pick up the W. 1-2 with the runner on first, inside out, down the line in right. The ever popular Seth Smith has no one around him and catches the baseball. 2 down here in the 9th. He's had a lot of putouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's his 7th putout in right field. That's a lot.
Yeah, he and Rickard have been busy out there.
That'll bring up Caleb Joseph. Caleb getting his first at bat. Matt Wieters started the ball game, had a 1 for 3, a base hit. 2 down, runner at first. Orioles have been shut out twice this season. Seattle has had 2 shutouts to their credit as a team. And the Orioles in danger of being shut out for the 3rd time. Yankees had the 7-0 win. Tampa Bay had a 2-0 win against the Orioles. Jimenez going to go 2-4. He'll be 2-2 lifetime against Seattle. 1-2 delivery. Caleb fouls that back. The Orioles against the American League West. They've yet to play Houston and LA. Will be doing so in the next road trip. 2-1 against Oakland, 1-2 against Texas, and about to be 0-1 against Seattle. Caleb reaching for that one, will foul it back, cued off the end.
68 miles an hour there. Caleb had all he could do to wait on that one.
You're so far ahead in the stride, you almost fall over.
Yeah.
Trying to keep your balance, waiting. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's the ball game. Joseph goes down swinging. The Orioles here in the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, an error. 1 left on base. Orioles are shut out for the 3rd time in an impressive 10-0 win by Seattle. When these teams meeting for the first time. Miley the winner, 4-2. Jimenez the loser, 2-4. Game 2 of this series coming up tomorrow. Hope you'll join us. Chris Tillman will be on the mound. against Juan Walker. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 6:30 with O's Extra, presented by Southwest, followed by our game coverage at 7. This has been a MASN presentation. Our final, Seattle 10 and the Orioles nothing. For Mike Bordick and all of our crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. Adieu.